Hey everybody, Roger here. It's been a while since I've made a video. Again, not slacking. There's a lot going on in my community, and just kind of want to give people a little synopsis of what's going on here. Plus, also I wanted to acknowledge one of my previous videos in regards to my predictions of what would be happening if people gave in to this tyranny that's going on right now. Now, first off, what's been going on lately here. I made a big decision in my personal life. I'm officially I want to leave the tech field, and I'm doing my best to get out of it. But I keep getting drawn back in. And what I mean by that is there's a fight that's going on right now in the world, and I think my calling at this point is to make sure that I use the skills and the talents that I have in the IT field to assist in trying to help people with my skills in our endeavors to try to take back power to the people again. And what I mean by that is I'm working locally with a group of like-minded people. Now, we're not necessarily a group, but we're people that get together to come up with ideas and think in like-mindedness. And sometimes we differ on a lot of things, but the core values are there. I have created a website and a campaign for a person who's going to be running for our county sheriff. We have a lot of corruption in our town. We have a history in our county, actually, in regards to corruption and among other things with our sheriff's department, with our local law enforcement. So I am helping this person that I feel very confident in to gain recognition and to hopefully take over that spot of that on the same county subject here. I am also helping. I've created another website for a person who is running, a woman who is running for our local board of county commissioners here. One of the districts is opening up, and I think she is going to be a write-in candidate. She tried getting in a little bit earlier, but there were some obstacles. But regardless, she's going to be a write-in candidate. Made a website for her. I'm also helping and assisting with her campaign as well, among other things. So we got a lot going on in that respect. And I'm also working with that group of like-minded people. I have developed and currently maintain the website that we have for our for our purpose, for bringing power back to the people, for allowing people to, or for giving people the understanding of what laws are, what mandates are, what edicts are, things like that, trying to educate people on a grander scale so that we don't run into this situation in the future or the near future. That's one of our biggest goals with that website. And then I also have another website on the side where I write my own articles about local issues happening here. I record videos of all of our town council meetings, of all of our board of county commissioners meetings, of a lot of different type of Republicans meetings. I can't do the Democrat ones because those are all online. I'd rather not do the Zoom thing. Just a personal thing. But I am very, very, very active locally in my community here. I constantly go to these meetings. I record them myself. And it's tiring. It's a lot of work. And sometimes I feel like just stopping. And there are times I give myself a break, but there are times I just feel like just quitting. But then I see how much closer we're getting. I see the incremental steps that we've, accomplishments and successes that we've had in this with my assistance here. Every single person in our group of like-minded people have actually contributed quite a bit, and it's working. I mean, we are seeing them just now starting to take notice, heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. We're putting a big load on them and the narrative that they're trying to spin in our local community here. So yeah, those are the things that I have been majorly focused on here. Those are the only things that I am utilizing my tech skills, my social media skills, my web development skills, my programming skills. I'm utilizing all of that exclusively for those, and I don't get paid for any of it. It is definitely a net negative for me in regards to return, but ultimately, I think the biggest return and what I can give back finally with my skills is something positive to our community, and hopefully it resonates from there, that we can be some sort of an example for the rest of the people in their own local towns and counties and states to stand up and see that it can be done. You know, will we win all of it? I don't think so. Maybe not. But we are going hardcore. We are going all out. We are confronting these local politicians and local law enforcement here head on. You know, and it's awesome. Know the power that you have. They do not rule you, they serve you. And that's what the candidates that we have, that I have been promoting. There's also okay, we have the sheriff that I just mentioned. We have the Board of County Commissioner. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I have to backtrack. I made an error. The Board of County Commissioners person that is running here, I did not develop the website for her, but I am actively campaigning for her. She built her own website. She is a national debate scholar. She is a national debate finalist, winner. She has done quite a bit in her field. When I hear her speak, she's all about understanding the law. She is amazing. But the other person that I did make the website for locally is a woman running for our town mayor. So please scratch that thing that I said 3 or 5 minutes ago off. I am actually building the website for a woman running for our town mayor, and I couldn't be happier to give her and lend her my skills. She is the writing candidate. There is one other candidate that is running against her that refuses to speak with the public. So we are taking that. We are going with it, and we are trying to unify people, saying, hey, you know, you're going to be voting the same old if you vote this previous person for mayor. Who has not represented you, who does not want to speak to the public, who does not want to speak to you. If you vote for that again, then you're asking for the same old. The good old boys club that we have here with our sheriff's department, and also, yeah, our town council and our Board of County Commissioners, our local development projects, etc., etc., etc. It's a big family affair with them, or a small family affair with them, and we are exposing it for what it is. It's been corruption. It's not people. It's not public servants serving the people anymore. We hope to serve as. We hope that this takes off. If it does, I will be continuing to make more and more videos on my channel and on my channel here, and make sure that people see that we've accomplished what we set out to do. Whether it's 100%, 50%, 25%, whatever, we'll take the wins that we get, and then I'll start then I'll start promoting it on my channel here, that it is possible for you guys to do it in your communities, and a lot of you are. I mean, I draw inspiration from what's going on all across the country. I also go to all of the student council meetings as well, the school board meetings, I should say, school board meetings. And I record every single one of these, and I post them on an alternate channel that I have here locally, and people use them for reference to when they make their public comments in meetings, and they're able to use verbatim what some of these people holding office, our public officials, our boards and whatnot, they use their own words against them. And again, it's putting them in their place. They are your public servants. If they're angry, if they get mad, tough shit. You're not in there to be coddled. You're not in there to be for us to not say what we want to say and express what we want to express. You're there to serve. You're there to hear the good. You're there to hear the bad and the ugly. And you're there to be chastised if you're serving the people. You're also there to be praised, but there's going to be more chastisement than anything, and you have to be willing to take it. If local community members and also board officials, local representatives, if they're angry about that, you don't need that as a leader in your community. They're going to cower. Screw that. So now I want to talk about that's enough of that. That's what I've been doing for since I've made my last video, and even prior to that. So now I just wanted to give you guys an update about what I've been doing, and my goal of actually getting out of the IT field. I think it's toxic, but I'm using my superpower, I guess, leftist word there, in the tech field to help progress us locally here, and hopefully it resonates. Anyways, on to my predictions. Last time I talked about what has been going on with this narrative, this I can't say the whole phrase, the C-19 narrative that we have going on. I mentioned a lot of things about control. I've mentioned a lot of things about slowly tipping more power into these unelected officials and bureaucrats and also elected officials. And look at where we're at. We're at a point where children, a generation here, I forget what the generation is called. We have Gen Z, Gen Y. I'm sorry, Gen Z is definitely the big one. What is it, the alpha generation? I can't remember what the new one is called. But anyways, we have these young children who are being used. They're being conditioned to be submissive to authority, be submissive to rules, and be submissive to tyranny and dictatorship. They are, and I've called this out 2 years ago when this, or a little less than 2 years ago, when this was flourishing, and we have that generation is going to be taking care of my generation, and also Gen Y. I'm a Gen X. They're going to be taking care of Gen Y, I don't know what the other generations are, but they're going to be taking care of this generation here. We also see the advent of people getting into fields that are that they're not qualified for. You know, I mentioned before. I think I mentioned before. If I didn't, I'll mention it now. In Oregon, they are pushing a 6-month nursing course, or I don't think it's CNA. I think it's a RN course, because there's supposedly a lack of RNs out there. Would you want a doctor would you want a surgeon who is a fast-track surgeon to be working on any sort of ailment in your body, you know, taking out organs or whatever it is, eye surgery, I don't know, optometry, whatever? Would you want a fast-track doctor? Why would you want a fast-track nurse? I'm pretty sure the answer is no to all those. Plus, we're also getting a lot of diversity hires. Again, if you are a minority and you've earned that position where you're at, by all means, you know, yeah, work on me, whatever. I don't care. I want the best of the best. I don't want a diversity hire to be working on me. And again, disclaimer, I am a minority in 2 sects there. SECTS or SEC. I don't know how to spell right now. Anyways, I'm a minority in 2 factions there. I am a homosexual man, and I am also a Hispanic, Puerto Rican guy, you know, a tiny bit Irish maybe. But anyways, I'm a minority. So, I mean, I say that understanding that not all people are created equal. We need to understand that in order for us to build as a community, if we're going to, I'm not trying to talk like I'm a Marxist or anything, but if we're going to build in any community, if we're going to try to help people rise up, we all have to work together, and we all have to have a level playing ground. And this is not a level playing ground. And if I'm going to be treated by doctors and nurses and physicians and whatnot, I don't like modern day medicine used as a what do you call it? Like sugar is used in food. I don't like it used one size fits all type deal. I'd rather have the best of the best work on me. I don't want people being put into positions of power, or put into positions of service, or put into positions of nursing, medicine, or healing, or whatever, that are not qualified. We need people that are qualified in every aspect. This is why we're failing in a lot of things. This is why I also think that the cabal, or whatever you want to call them, don't have it all figured out either. They're getting all these diversity hires, and they're losing the battle in that respect. But one way that they're winning is they've taken data from us now. They've taken the understanding that the last 2 years, again, they've been doing this for centuries, collecting data of how we react. They've taken data now to see how much they can control us. And that's one of the other things I brought up in the video. A lot of us, I would say probably 85 to 90% of us as a whole are able to be easily manipulated and controlled. And when big government tells us that we can stop doing certain things, we stop. And when they tell us that we need to begin doing certain things, then we listen. 85 to 90% of us. There are the rest of us, the 10 to 15% of us we don't. I haven't. I think the last time I wore a mask was April or May of 2019. I can't remember when this whole thing started, but only after 2 to 3 months that I stopped wearing a mask, and I have not worn a mask since, and I will not wear a mask. And I will let people know what laws they're violating, what civil rights laws they're violating, what constitutional rights of mine they're violating, and make sure that they understand I'm still going to be served here. If you want to kick me out, whatever, it's your deal. Bring whatever authorities you want. It's rarely happened, but 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 that's the thing, is these people, they understand, they're outplaying their hand at this point. They've made trillions of dollars. They've made record profits. We have a doctor who's not even a doctor, Bill Gates, who everybody listens to, and then those same people that follow that doctor will tell me, "Are you a doctor?" I'm like, well, "No, is Bill Gates a doctor? I am a professional in my field. I understand programming. I have a very analytical thinking mind for the most part, not for everything, but for a lot of things, and I'm able to discern for myself what questions I should ask." When has individual discernment been a taboo thing to do? At this point, these people have taken information from us and seen that there are people who will just abide with being secure and thinking that the government has the ability to keep them secure and safe, and that's what they want. They're willing to get that and sacrifice security. So they have these figures now. This was I would say round 4 for them, at least in my lifetime, maybe round 5 or 6. We've had Ebola, we've had all of these other supposed opportunities for them to try and gain control. But now we have the advent of portable mobile devices. We have the advent of tracking, the advent of all these other things that a lot of people will submit themselves to being their control mechanism, and allow Big Brother to take over them. Those of us, they know where we're at after 2 years. They know where we're at as a society, and how they can, get that whip, crack that whip on that cow there, and control people. So they understand that they have some sort of an upper hand. They already have that information. The other thing is this: they've taken away spirit. They understand that there's a lot of people in the world that don't really care about their spirit. Their spirit is disconnected from their body, and so they're living as earthly beings, body and mind only. They don't have this soul, or they've lost their soul, and I don't know. I take that and I look at that and I'm like, okay, you have, if you want to get religious, or what, I'm actually not even religious. I believe religion is a bad thing. I think religion onto itself is like having a team, because there's so many of them, a football team. There's so many religions out there that really what it comes down to is listening to yourself and within. That's how I live my life. I've lived like that probably since my late teens, early 20s. And I encourage that with a lot of people. And instead of following a team, a narrative here, you don't need to have, you don't need to be a Catholic. You don't need to, go to an altar. You don't need to be a Christian. You don't need to be any of these things. Once you start listening to yourself, things are going to flow. Things are going to, you're going to be able to answer a lot more questions about why you're here, from within, than you are from somebody else telling you an earthly power. I don't put any man or woman above me. We're all equal. We all eat, shit, fuck, piss, and die. That's all we do. And procreate, some of us. We do the same things. Why should somebody else be above you when we all have the capability, if we just listen to ourselves, to do what we want? Don't ever. That's why when we tackle these local politicians and authority figures here, we understand that they're not above us as people as well. They answer to us as public servants, so in a way that they are a step below us. They get paid quite a handsome sum. Some of them do, anyways. Our town council doesn't, but who knows? Maybe there's backdoor incentives there that we don't know about. Anyways. Long story short, with that aspect here, they have the data. They understand that we're able to be controlled as a whole. But what they fail to understand is that those people that they control right now, if they see, they're not all going to be stupid. They're going to be like, why do I need a 5th shot? Why do I need a 6th shot? Why do I need a 7th shot? Some of them will eventually wake up. And when they do, they're going to attack their masters. Now, here's another thing. So I don't know where that's going to go with all of that. They have the information about how we all react, especially within the last 2 years. They're collecting data now. Laws have changed globally to allow more decentralized, I'm sorry, not decentralized, that's the incorrect word here, to allow more global powers and influence to take over control of the people. You know, now it's a global unity thing instead of individual nation states. So you have these influencers coming in trying to change how the average person in every country is thinking about government, big government. And so they now have these, you know, sometimes they're not laws, sometimes they're recommendations that the average person doesn't understand. They're recommendations, and the people in general, regardless of what country you're in, are going to follow those recommendations and guidelines, like, again, the sheep that they are. And then with that, those governments will then start to add powers, new powers to the repertoire that give them more control, more tyrannical control over a populace. And that's where we're at right now. We're at that point right now. So after 2 years, they've given themselves quite a bit of power to make any sort of thing be a national issue, a global issue, a pandemic, or whatever you want to call it. The ever-changing terminology that they use, they have that power now. So within the span of 2 years, they've gained quite a bit of control. But at the same time, those same people who feel like they've been had after a while, if their government can't supply anymore, they will fight back against their government. The 85 to 90% of the people that I told you about earlier that are pawns, that are lemmings, they will try to fight back. But the problem is we don't know what's going on with those individuals as well. You know, we have this supposed Cinco G, I guess that's how I'll say it right now, for trying not to get censored. Cinco G that is out there that possibly has the potential of, you know, manipulating your bodily functions and whatnot, have the ability to potentially toxify your system, among other things. That's just one item here. We also have the understanding of what is actually in these you know. For people listening, I'm poking my finger into my shoulder. So, and not watching the video. If you're just listening, I'm making that visual. We have that we don't know the ingredients of. We don't know what's in them, and people have this blind trust, and so we have that issue as well. So it could be that when the majority of that group of people who have been had by their supposed earthly God government, Big Daddy government here, the powers that be will then turn it on against them. And right now it's being incrementally, it's slow. You know, they don't want to kill everybody off right now. And again, this is a theory, but I do feel it's plausible, or it's able to be played with, to be to look at and say, this is a possibility that they are trying to eradicate the majority here. I mean, just look at the Georgia Guidestones, among other things. And if it comes to it that the majority of those people who have been had decide to make an uprising, what did you put in your system that could probably deter that from actually being successful? You know, you taking over the previous masters that you once admired. You put yourself into this position. We tried warning you. I feel for you, but at the same time, it's like I'm moving on. I'm doing my part here locally. One of the reasons I stopped making videos, I've done my part here local. I'm doing my part here locally to try to get certain people that I feel are right, in the right mindset of bringing the power back to the people and not being easily corrupted. I'm doing my part to help them out. And I've done my part for the last 2 years to try to convince other people, hey, you're going down the wrong path. They either block me, they report me, they try to challenge my ideals, but look at me. I'm a pureblood at this point. I haven't given in, and I'm not going to. And I do fight back every chance that I get, lawfully, of course, and we go from there. But yeah, you know, it looks like I've been right on quite a bit of things. The biggest issue for me is what's happening right now to the kids. It's been happening. I brought it up a year and a half ago. It's happening to the children. They are becoming very submissive. They're going to be a submissive generation. And who knows how they're going to vote. that's going to have pretty big implications. So all these things were planned from the get-go. Now we're bringing in foreigners. It's suggested that we're going to be bringing in foreigners to replace existing jobs that nobody wants to take. Doctors, physicians. Come on, people. I mean, you got to know when you're being had here. And this is just the insanity that's playing out. I don't know what else I have to say right now. I'm probably rambling too much. I feel like I'm in a good state of mind right now. I've been shoveling snow all day at my house. I've been cleaning my garage, and I just needed to take my mind off of a lot of things for a little while. I've given myself the last 2 days for a break from local politics and local campaigning for my friends that I'm trying to get elected to these positions. I took 2 days off. This is the first 2 days off I've had in a row in probably a year. It feels like I'm really beat. I'm worn out, but I'm still moving forward. I think that's where we're at. Call their bluff. Call these authoritarians bluff, these tyrants, and make sure you do what you can to get into positions of power. They are more afraid of you than you probably should be of them. They might have these weapons that they're bringing up slowly to hurt us, to damage us, to depopulate us, etc., etc., etc. But I think in the end, just like some biblical warriors, some armies historically have done, the small numbers sometimes can provide a cascading effect that will just take these people down. Demons down, I should say, and go from there. One last thing, I was recently watching this video from Dave Cullen. Again, I've had my ups and downs with him, as some of you know, from my not ups and downs with him directly, but ups and downs with how I have viewed his content. But that guy has been my number one go-to lately. Him, Styx, I think he's dropped down quite a bit for me. I still listen to him every day, but anyways, going back to Dave Cullen, I was listening to a 2.5 hour video he had today where he had this author of a book. I can't remember what the book is called. It's a great video though, and he brings up something very interesting that I never thought of. We are made of mind, body, and spirits. If you think in terms of believing in a one God, a God was creator of man, if you believe in that aspect. And equally, those are in thirds. We are 1/3 mind, we are 1/3 body, and we are 1/3 spirit. And when we look at it like that, there's a lot of people in this world who actually, they don't come into this world with none of those things. I think the majority of people, if not almost all, if not all, do come into this world with a full mind, body, and spirit. But as we get injected with different things and toxins and influences and beliefs and whatnot, that spirit gets taken away. You still have your mind, even though it's weak, and you still have your body, even though it's probably weak. But if you look at it in thirds, the majority of people here are already in that 66666 number there. Think of it this way: 3.33% of you is mind, 3.333% of you is body, and 3.333% of you is spirit. If you take away that 3.333% of spirit, you're left with 66.666%. You see where I'm going with this. So in essence, we are dealing with a very, if we're looking at it in a spiritual sense, a spiritual battle here, which again, I do believe. I don't think everybody needs to believe my belief. My belief constantly changes, but that was a very interesting insight that man had on Dave Cullen's most recent video. Again, it's 2.5 hours. I don't remember what it was, but it was an author of a book. Other than that, you guys, I am doing fine. I have some challenges in my life right now, but none that I'm not willing to tackle. I mean, there's ups and downs all the time, and I go from there. Oh, one last thing I wanted to bring up. Please keep in mind, there is a huge difference between cryptocurrencies and digital currencies. One is something that is sponsored and pushed by global government. And you know what groups I'm talking about with that. And the other one is dealing with freedom from that. And yes, there are some cryptos out there. Not all cryptos are created equal, but there are certain ones out there that are going to be challenging for the establishment to try to get rid of. Please, if you can, I'm not a financial advisor, and I shouldn't even have to say that because I don't think cryptos are considered finances, right? But I'm not a financial advisor, but I would encourage people to invest in certain cryptos. Right now, I'm heavy on oh, my battery's running low here. But I am heavy on the Osmosis project, the Osmosis.zone project. I invest heavily into that, and I might be taking donations sooner on that. Maybe I'll give out my wallet address if anybody wants to donate. But donate. Start investing into these decentralized exchanges. You're going to have to at least have one. I have crypto.com as far as like my main exchange, my main public exchange, where I do buy certain, like Cosmos Atom is what I buy the most of. And then I transfer it over to the Osmosis wallet and go from there. Understand that one equals freedom, and that is the cryptocurrencies, and the other one equals tyrannical control, where they're wanting to take all of your information, your medical, your health, your personal, your whatever information, your wrong think, and then they'll use that like what they're doing in Canada right now, trying to prevent people from actually having that freedom of association by investing in whatever causes they wish. Taking away your wallet, taking away your bank. Get out of banks. Get out of banks. That's going to be the biggest thing. Slowly do that. And we'll see where it goes from there. Anyways, my battery is running out. I love you guys. Has been a while since I made a video, but I felt I needed to make one to give you guys a heads up of what's going on. Fight in your communities. Let me know what you're doing in your own communities. I would love to hear it. And as I always say, like, hate, subscribe, unsubscribe, whatever. I can't even remember it anymore. Peace out.